So here we are. The season is essentially over for corn. We harvested a really nice bit of 5 different types of sweet corn. I mean, it was fantastic. Still, a lot of that stuff is up at the house in the freezer and getting ready to be consumed. But I can see all the decomposing insects are starting to move in. The beans grew up pretty well, and there's still some beans coming in, but for the most part, this is all done and senescing. I'm going to be cutting everything off at ground height, and it's going to go, try to move slowly over to the composting zone over there. I've got some other stuff exiting the garden, some trimmings and prunings that came from sweet potatoes and cucumbers and other various things that are basically finished as well, or finishing. So that stuff is headed down there as well, but we're going to clip these off ground level. And then this bed is going to get chipped again. I've got some aged wood chips behind me. I'm going to use them. It's really close, so it'll be easy to do. But what I really wanted to do was show you here. You can see we really didn't do anything. I sprayed vinegar around the edge of the garden one time and then kind of came off of it. We started out in drought conditions, so the Bermuda wasn't pressing very hard, but a little bit of it came into here. But this is the band that's around the garden and not actually the garden. So that'll get removed by hand, and I may use my weed wiper. I have a weed wiping device. I just put straight vinegar in it. It soaks a rope, and then I wipe the rope down there. That way I'm not spraying something all over the place. And so it did. All in all, these new first year chips, they're actually chips that I got just before I put them down, did a pretty decent job of keeping the Bermuda grass, which you can see is a sea of Bermuda grass here, keeping it from moving in. Now I will have to do some manual remediation. I'll have to get down there and pull it out, pull it back. It's pretty easy to pull all the way back to the edge. And then this will get fresh chips over the top of it, just like this gets aged chips. Aged. I'm saying that twice. Aged. It's fall, so there isn't really a threat of too many weeds blowing in here. I'll have to cut the grass a few more times, and then there won't be that much grass cutting going on. So I'm not that worried about weeds blowing in seeds and growing and whatnot. So I will be putting the more fertile aged compost chips on here. And once again, you know, I'll be saving fresher chips to be used on the outside here where I'm not growing crops. And that's going to be the theme for this particular garden. You know, I would be happy if I maybe put an edge here, a cut down edge around this plot, which should make it easier to keep the grasses from growing in. We're looking into that right now. I've got a lot of plots to do that on, so I'm probably going to invest in a tool to do it. But yeah, there you have it. Sea of Bermuda, a very productive corn plot. And now I've got some tan and brown matter to go into my compost system. So it was a win all the way around. Well, there she is, all covered up. It's a bit steamy out here tonight, just at nightfall. Yeah, corn canes have been pulled, sitting there on the side. I think they're going to go through the wood chipper so that it's smaller, because otherwise when they enter the compost system, this stuff is really kind of like, it takes a long time, you know. So I'll run it through the chipper and it'll get mixed in as a brown or a tan. And there's still some green in there, so there might be some still good nitrogen left in there. We'll see. We shall see. But I hadn't have the heart to pull the beans out. Some of the beans are still living, so I just covered it with 3 or 4 inches of wood chips, and I'm gonna put 2 rows of, I believe, pump cans in here. My honey said I can go ahead and do that, so I was really glad to hear that. And that should be it for this year's growing on this plot. Anyway, after that, we'll see. It looks good so far, though.